Punk go at it.
Yeah.
That's Punk and Lesnar and Punk and Austin are the last two matches that I need to see before I die.
Exactly.
I think. So, and maybe Undertaker Sting.
Undertaker Sting. Well, actually, it's good you mentioned that because Sting is actually talking about retirement. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if Sting's last professional wrestling match was at next year's WrestleMania against the Undertaker?
The 30th anniversary.
The 30th anniversary against the Undertaker. Like, Vince McMahon could say, look, you don't have to be in the company. We just want you to wrestle one pay-per-view. We'll put you in the Hall of Fame. You can wrestle one pay-per-view against the Undertaker, and your last match ever would be absolutely huge in front of 30.
First and last WWE
exactly.
match. But all right, let me throw this at you. Would the streak end, or would Sting lose his first and only WWE match?
I believe that the Undertaker, with Sting being the legend that he is, would probably go ahead and give up his streak.
You think he would end the streak for Sting?
I think he probably would.
I think the Undertaker personally wouldn't mind giving up the streak to the right person.
Yeah.
And I think Sting has been around for so long, and what's he been around? I know he's been around since the 80s, but was he in the 70s? I'm not sure.
I don't think he was in the 70s.
I think he was early 80s, right?
Yeah.
Early 80s guy.
Mm-hmm.
Him and, who was it? Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. The Dingoes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's reports of Hulk Hogan training again for one more wrestling match.
That's a touchy subject, man, because I've always felt that Hulk's tried to, put his foot in the door before the other guys, but he's already accomplished everything in professional wrestling that there's basically is to accomplish. So what more does he have? What does he want to come? Who's the champ right now in TNA? Bully Ray. What's he want to come have a feud with him because of the whole Brooke Hogan thing?
I really hope that he's not the one that's going to end the Aces and Eights, because he's got all that talent in TNA, and if he's the one that ends Aces and Eights, oh my goodness, I think people not going to be too happy.
I feel kind of like the whole Aces and Eights thing is a little overplayed. They've had the NWO, now they got the Shield, and DX, all that stuff. They've had all the heel stables, but it's not that they. I just don't feel that they're doing a lot. They could be doing so much more. They got Kennedy or Mr. Anderson, whatever they call him.
Mr. Anderson. They
AJ Styles.
No,
Or did he leave?
He was gonna join, and then he attacked him. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that now. And Taz is. They got Taz in there. He don't wrestle. I'd love to see him wrestle, but
they got both of the Dudleys. Yeah. They got Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe and
Luke Gallows. Is Luke Gallows still there?
Luke Gallows is there, and so is Mike Knox. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they definitely got some good talent. They just got to keep up with the doing what they got to do. AJ Styles was involved in the fan altercation at I think it was like a house show. He shows up, he's going down to the ring, and a fan just grabs a chair and starts trying to come after him with the steel chair.
I missed all that, but there's been numerous fan altercations throughout history, like people jumping the railings. If you can do a simple YouTube search and find a ton, like Sabu. Sabu was coming out. I can't remember what event it was, but Sabu came out. Fan took his hat. Sabu got mad, went into the crowd, busted this dude in the face, took his hat back, went to the ring. I've seen Triple H tackle people. Back when Linda McMahon was there doing all that stuff.
Yep. Please don't try that.
Yeah, it's professional. You got to understand professional wrestling in order to appreciate it. And these people must either take it too serious, or the wrestlers are so good at making people hate them that they just. Speaking of, I was watching the Bobby Heenan documentary, and he was talking about how one time he came out and cut one of his manager promos or whatever, and some guy pulled a gun in the crowd and tried to shoot him.
Wow.
Yeah, and he ducked out and rolled out, but, I mean, you know, professional wrestling, it's like a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a male soap opera.
Exactly.
And some people don't understand it. You know, some people want to be like, oh, it's fake, blah, blah, blah. You know, when you're getting whipped in the back with belts, getting hit with chairs, you know, there are real aspects to it. Falling 30, 60 feet in the air,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that without
no.
waking up sore the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Heck no.
But, I mean, these guys, they do it with pride. You know, they get paid for doing it. They love what they're doing, and that keeps the business, you know, flourishing. And as a fan, that gives me hopes for the future of the sport.
And
So.
my favorite independent promotion just had the newest show. It was Combat Zone Wrestling's. It was a Tournament of Death.
I don't watch too much of that.
It's the only wrestling promotion that I know of in America that does deathmatch wrestling, and I love the deathmatch stuff, like thumbtacks and the barbed wire and glass, and it's just it's just so hardcore, and it's just nuts. And
speaking of you know, hardcore and TNA. At the last TNA pay-per-view, Sting Bully Ray fought for the title. I thought it was really cool the way they ended that match by having Bully Ray do, you know, the 2 pile drivers, which is an illegal move in wrestling now. And it still didn't beat Sting. He goes, gets the knife, cuts the ring stuff up, pulls all the mat up until it's just, you know, boards. Gives him the 3rd pile driver, beats him. Sting's not able to fight for the belt anymore. What do you think about that?
I think that's why I was talking about. You know, I think that Sting's either getting ready for retirement, or it's just an angle for maybe even a Sting heel turn.
You think he would do that at this late in his career?
He just might.
He's a legend, though. You think legends take the heel turn?
Because after he got beat, he put out a tweet that he guessed that nobody had his back. So
yeah,
that could be
very true.
Very true. Yes, sir. Let's see here. What else do I think?
Angle went into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did. He went into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Second inductee. Who was the first one? Sting.
I was okay with Angle going into that Hall of Fame, but I really would have liked to see somebody that actually was there to help found TNA. Like, they still haven't had anybody to help found TNA, like Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles. I really think that TNA got him in the Hall of Fame so that they can tell WWE that they got him in
one
first.
over on WWE.
Exactly, because Angle has already said he wants to go into the WWE Hall of Fame as well.
Well, you watch the well, I mean, there's a Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast now, and Kurt Angle was his latest guest on there, and he only put the first half of the interview up as of now, but you know, the second part might show up later this evening or whenever. They don't really have an upload date. They just throw them on there when they throw them on there. But it's actually a very interesting show. Each episode is like an hour long, and it's not always about wrestling. It's either about Steve Austin's life or, I mean, I'd probably say 45% of the things I've heard are wrestling, because he's had JR, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Lance Storm, Kurt Angle on there, and he says he welcomes anyone that'll sit down and talk to him.
That's cool.
To an interview, and it's free. It's free to listen to. Simple Google search, Steve Austin Show podcast, or something along that nature, and you'll look it up. I know he's got at least 15 to 17 shows as of now, and he's putting them up on sometimes he puts 2 or 3 of them up a week, so, and he's doing that Redneck Island stuff now.
Yeah, the Redneck Island. I've seen that a couple times.
I want to see him come back and feud with Punk so bad. You know, they're both Heyman guys. And a lot of people don't know that about Steve Austin, is that he was originally one of the Paul Heyman guys.
Yeah.
Back when he had the long blonde hair. Stunning Steve? Is that what they called him?
Exactly.
And I just think they could easily use Paul Heyman to create an angle. And they've already had the exchanging of words.
Yeah.
And when Punk cut his infamous promo, he was wearing the Stone Cold shirt.
Exactly.
It's just so much. WrestleMania 30, man. Where's that match? That needs to be the headliner.
That would be a good match, but the only thing is that Stone Cold is so beat up with his neck injury and his knees, like,
Yeah.
If he would be able to wrestle again, would it really be a good match, or would Punk have to?
Well, I think Punk is so skilled and so young and so agile and youthful that he could, he'd have to pull like a Dolph Ziggler and outsell Stone Cold. But,
exactly.
But who do you think would win? Do you think Austin would? I would almost see Austin having to get over on Punk.
Yeah.
But I just don't see Punk. I just don't see Austin losing like probably his last match against Punk. But Punk is, he's lost to The Undertaker, lost to Triple H, lost to all these legends.
Exactly.
Who's he gonna get to solidify his place in the Hall of Fame?
Exactly.
Chris Jericho? Is it
could.
Jericho?
It could be. It very well could be. Then last discussion I think we should have is, what do you think of the WWE PG? Do you think they should go back to the Attitude Era, or do you like?
I like the PG. It's just the material that they put on there, like the hornswoggle, all the comedic stuff. It's just not as serious as I would like them to take it. It's not that it doesn't work. I didn't approve of them having Hornswoggle as the Raw Anonymous General Manager.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated that angle. But I think that, they're like weaving certain things in there in the PG, like the whole AJ thing where she was like making out with everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's already, I don't want to say trashy, but I mean, she's up there with like all the other divas like Sunny, Sable, Jacqueline, Tori, Lita. She's already. I think she's already topped them in her career. So I think they got the Divas thing working for them. It's just a lack of blood,
Exactly.
And blood really doesn't make a good match. I mean, it makes it more thrilling. It does. It makes it more interesting. Makes it seem like more damage has been done. A good match for that would be JBL versus Eddie Guerrero when JBL nailed Eddie with that chair. Or Undertaker versus Vince McMahon buried alive match.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me that Vince McMahon wouldn't die for his company after watching that match.
Oh, sure.
Because Vince McMahon goes hard. I don't care what they say. I don't care.
Yeah, talking about that, one of the greatest matches in the WWE didn't really have any blood in it, but it's the most infamous match. It's the King of the Ring match, Undertaker against Mankind. When he got thrown off of the Hell in a Cell, then he climbs back up, it gets chokeslammed through the Hell in a Cell, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And, he still gets up and fights. Like, that's why Mick Foley's my favorite wrestler.
That match may be overused in a lot of documentaries and stuff, but there's a reason that it's overused. When he got thrown off of that Hell in a Cell, had his tooth up in his nose, hole in his lip, and still came back out there because he knew that it was his job to do so.
Exactly.
He came out there, for the love of the business, for the love of the fans, not to embarrass The Undertaker, all of that stuff. He did all of that, and that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame yet, is he?
Yeah, he just got inducted at WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yep.
But he definitely has given it his all. I would love to see him have another run. One more run.
Just one more.
I hate the sweatpants and I hate the flannel. I would love to see him. I don't even know. I'm not really big on Dude Love. Yeah. Cactus Jack is awesome for all the things he's done. And
yeah, he's kind of like Terry Funk. Like, Terry Funk's retired a billion times, and he's still...
Yeah, and Flair.
Ric
Flair. I wanted to see that Flair CM Punk match. That when Flair and Punk had an exchanging of words at the Slammies.
It actually could still happen.
It could. It very well could, but I don't know if Flair's up to it, man. He's getting kind of up there, but I think it's in his blood to I think he'll die in that ring.
Hi, wrestling fans. Well, that was the edition of Wrestle Talk. I'm Joe Lance. That's JB. And tune in next week. Peace.